Hello guys, it just is here with a new video. This is a new build guide I've been working on for the last couple of days. This is a Flicker Strike Raider using Voidforge, Trinity support, and yeah, just generic weapon elemental damage. I wanted to try Flicker Strike. My first initial thought was to try Poison Flicker Strike. That failed miserably because Flicker Strike and Poison are two incompatible concepts, I guess, because poison, it's damage over time, and when you're flickering around, you don't have much time. And yeah, you gotta kill shit fast before it kills you, right? And poison is not really, I was dying like a bitch, I was doing miserable amounts of damage, and yeah, I didn't really scale it much. Maybe if you get like millions and millions dot DPS, then there might be something there, but I went with Apex Supremacy, Self-Poison, Self-Chill. I wanted to experiment and make a, like a hipster build. It almost worked, but nah, I didn't. I also went with the belt that transforms Frenzy charges to Affliction charges. That didn't work as well because, Flicker Strike requires an actual Frenzy charge. Then I switched to White Wind, Dagger, Flicker Strike, Pure Cold. It worked pretty well. It had a couple of mil DPS. It was very easy to slap together, even without endgame gear, Awaken Multi-Strike and whatnot. It did like over 1 million damage, which is, White Wind is a cheap ass fucking item, and I had, decent defenses like Cap Dodge, Wind Dancer, some endurance chant generation and stuff like that. So yeah, I settled on Voidforge with some phys scaling, right? Physical damage to attacks, then converting it via Voidforge and using Trinity support. This support is crazy. This is a insane support gem. What it does is basically hits and supported skills for which the highest damage type is elemental cause you gain 25 resonance for other elements. So if you hit with fire, you get 25 resonance for lightning and cold. Alright, if you hit with lightning, you gain fire and cold. If you hit with cold, you get fire and lightning. And this support gives 5 more elemental damage per 5 of lowest. So in my case, I'm converting physical to a random element. So I hit with lightning, then with cold, then maybe back with lightning, then maybe with fire, then maybe with cold, then maybe with lightning. You see what I'm getting at? So Trinity is always filled. You're gonna see in a map showcase in a bit. This gives basically 5 more per 5, which means 25% more damage, and also it gives 20 elemental pen. While resonance is at least at 25, so it doesn't have to be 3 different elements as well. It can only be 2. I don't know. If you just have a lot of added lightning on your cold skill, for example, it might work as well. And yeah, I fell in love with this support and wanted to, I want to fit it in every build I'm doing. So this is versioned with Trinity, and yeah, I'll run over my gear later. It's pretty expensive. I invested a lot into this, maybe like 30-ish exalts. Some of them were not very worthy purchases, but most of them were, I hope. And yeah, this build is very interesting, at the very least. It's been a while since I played Flicker Strike. It's a pretty enjoyable playstyle, but a warning, it's not very...
I'm not up to that just yet.
It's very dynamic. If you have low tolerance for, action on the screen, if you get dizzy easily, let alone if you have like an illness, I recommend you skip this. I will leave a mark, right, a timestamp for you where you can skip towards the part where I explain, all the gears and stuff. So yeah, what you do is you basically flick around and, Oh, I don't have melee splash. Yeah, the biggest inconvenience with this is that you have to swap in melee flash for ruthless, ruthless for single target, and melee splash for mapping. But you can even map without melee splash with this variation, because there's held up ash, there's additional strike on the hunter gloves, so it's kind of okay. As you can see, it kind of clears. Takes way longer on packs. That's why I swap in melee splash. My version is pretty expensive currently, but it can work on a way lower budget, and I'll be explaining why. Like key items here is abyssus, Voidforge, which is dirty cheap this league, and yeah, that's it. That's really it. Like clear is fantastic, as you would expect from Flicker Strike. It's a very competent strike skill, one of the very few. On bosses, you put your Ancestral Protector and Ancestral War Chief, they give a lot of damage. Yeah, just flick. It's pretty rippy, especially on bosses. As you can see, like in current variation, I'm dealing a lot of damage, so if you kill shit before it kills you, the best defense there is. Ow. Oh yeah, he did. That was Drox, and I'm having a Sirus. This is gonna be my first Sirus, so I'm not promising it's gonna be deathless. Yeah, map as you saw, like took me what, a couple of minutes, and it's very enjoyable playstyle. I didn't do ultimatum, but yeah, basically you just hold on your right click or whatever button you have it on, and hope you don't die, because yeah. Defenses, especially on a raider, are, you know, very RNG based. I'm having 55 dodge, attack dodge, and 45 spell dodge. You can cheese it like on boots, and yeah, I have elusive allocated no witnesses, so like at peak elusive it gets up to 75-70 dodge, but usually it's around like, you know, 65-55-ish.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Would be fair to say. I also have Withering Step more consistently. I don't know if my setup is optimal, right, flasks wise and stuff, but this is what I've been working with and kind of enjoying it. I'll still be updating this, but yeah, this is kind of a middle to late game status of this character. Yeah, physical damage is very painful, and Sirus deals hybrid, right? Like every one of these is gonna kill me like a fly. My currently this deals like 8-ish million DPS, Sirus million DPS. That is without adrenaline, but with all the flasks. With all the flasks and totems down, right, and blood rage. But without it, maybe like 4-ish mil, mostly due to Trinity penetration. Yeah. And not being able to control your movement on a serious fight, where your movement is the main defensive, you know, what keeps you alive, like this. But so far so good, right? 4.5k HP, and it's like, it's Raider, so it's way tankier than it seems on the first glance. Like if you wanna recreate this Voidforge flicker, I recommend going Slayer, because Slayer gets a lot of, you know, way more life. You can get up to 6k with almost the same gear. And it's more consistent defenses, because it's armor and phys damage mitigation, like endurance charges and whatnot. The only downside is it's slower, as well as it doesn't get frenzy generation that easily. Right, main will be Feral's Fur, plus like Blood Rage during mapping. But yeah, I'm gonna be including Slayer version down below as well. It's basically same items, but a little bit a different take, right? And it's easy to put together rather. Slayer will also probably have more damage. Maybe not. It's gonna have way more crit. That's for sure. Oh, well, these fires are, I don't think are doable. Yep. This is gonna be death.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Yes, base crit 8% is very good because Voidforge by default has... Ow. Dodged, by the way. Base crit on Voidforge by itself is 5%. Maybe I can burst him. Nope. Ow. Die. Yes? No. Wasn't that clean, guys, but yeah. Single target and bossing is not this build's specialty. And Slayer would have more sustain, more HP. So yeah, this is just an experiment. I wanted to play Raider for a while now, and that's why I went with Raider. And also I had a a character, so. Alright, what do you got for me? Awakened at a lightning, not bad. Yeah. So yeah, this was the Sirus and Drox. It wasn't super bad, right? For a build that doesn't boss at all. I could have maybe played it cleaner. And yeah, let me get into how I built my character so far. It's currently level 93, same character from Magic Find. So, also guys, you can vow right away, like because the gloves they can be modified even after corruption, right? So they can be jewelered, fused, even colored. Even you can even corrupt them with a beast that makes it 30 quality, right? Do whatever to them. But ideally you want to jeweler them first, right? Just in case if you get white sockets on top as well. It's a minor benefit, but it is. So, alright. And you also divine, right? Divine Bliss. Anyway, that's getting sidetracked. So the main idea behind it is Voidforge. Voidforge grants 300% of weapon physical damage as extra damage over random element, and it picks a random element. So if it hits with fire one time, it will not pick fire again, right? It will hit next attack. It will be something different, like cold or lightning, right? If he hits with cold, then he can pick cold next. So this build is perfect for Trinity support. Also, if you play Slayer in the tree, you will see that I grab Early Equilibrium, and Early Equilibrium will work almost all the time. Because like I'm running Hatred, right? And Hatred gives cold damage. So you're dealing, no matter what element you pick, you always deal cold damage. And also Herald of Ash. Yeah, so Herald of Ash is not the choice. I'm gonna it's gonna be Herald of Purity in the Slayer version, just because it only gives physical, right? And Hatred is still a good choice, because even if you hit with cold, right? Let's say like for your elemental equilibrium to work, you're gonna have to get unlucky. So if your weapon picks fire, let's say, right? If your weapon picks cold, you're good. It's like 33% of the time you'll be this will be working, right? If your weapon hits with fire, picks fire, right? If Voidforge picks fire, then it also adds cold. And next time, if it picks cold, then it's bad. If it doesn't, then it's good. So it's 33% chance, right? And then 50-50. So basically 66% of the chance, 66% of the time it will work. Is it right? Well, it's like the 1 door, 3 door, or whatever, 3 doors, 2 doors. I don't know, man. It just works. Like Bethesda. Anyway, like Skyrim, right? If you want to guarantee Voidforge proccing, then you can even drop Hatred and go purity, Herald of Purity and high level precision, I guess. Yeah. And like, you can also go with Alien Weakness Blasphemy, I guess. An Assassin Mark on hit and go double curse. It's a good option to guarantee Alien Equilibrium, but I feel like even if it's Hatred, it's still worth. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. In my current adaptation, right? Current version is Raider, because we get immunity to elemental ailments. Very nice. Exposure, minus 20 AoE res. Frenzy charge, of course. Synergy. It's easy sustain on bosses. Always 7 frenzy charges, because we get 3 from the tree, 1 from the ascendancy, and 3 the default ones, right? We get a shit ton of movement speed, evasion rating, attack speed, and attack damage per frenzy charge. Everything multiplied by 7, 70, 28, 28, 70. It's a almost basic elemental damage with attacks tree, picking some Fatal Blade, critical sword nodes, AoE damage with attacks, more sword and crit and accuracy. I don't go conversion because it doesn't really do much. Just adds a little bit. I'm not even sure though how much it adds. Kinda adds a lot. What the hell? Yeah, I'll definitely be speccing into that. Holy shit, it adds a lot. That's my bad. I even will do it right now instead of this, maybe, depending on accuracy. Yeah, guys, as I said, it's just, you know, not the optimal version probably. I just learn as I go, but it's working out. You'll see that it's quite some millions of DPS, because this weapon is very potent. It's if you stack some flat physical, you know, just the usual Voidforge scaling, it's very potent. Maybe underrated a bit. This is 14 attack speed. 14 attack speed is a lot. This is not much. Yeah, now we're talking. Yeah, just the dodge. Frenzy, you want to pick up Frenzy everywhere. This is good because it gives some very mandatory strength, as well as, you know, 3% increased physical damage. It's nothing to pass up. The usual, like, physical. We want to pick physical, even though we deal elemental, we grab physical everywhere, and then it gets converted, right? So if we add elemental, then we get like, let's say we add 10 to 30 elemental damage to attacks, then we get 20. But if we add 10 to 20 physical damage, then we get 60. So because it gives 300%. So we want to stack as much physical damage as possible. Physical crit, physical, life evasion, penetration, dodge, very nice place for intuitive leap, evasion, all res, crit multi, accuracy, life, yeah, the usual raider elemental damage with attacks. Pick up Wind Dancer, because Wind Dancer is very excellent synergy with dodge. Yeah, a Thread of Hope here allows to pick Disciple of the Slaughter, just for some comfortable, you know, and also Disciple of the Unyielding, for very mandatory, very, not mandatory, but very useful endurance charges, because endurance charges give physical damage mitigation, and we need it desperately because we're using abyssus, right? So yeah, that's why also Slayer is probably better and easier to pull off. We'll grab life here, pretty good, and this one, this crit multi gives a lot. Crit and crit multi here, crit and crit multi here, and go for cluster jewel. I don't know if it's optimal. I don't know if it's. I'm not sure if it's working, but I go with blast freeze because like spreading freeze is pretty good. I feel like I hear shattering. You know, the shit just dies so quickly that I can't really pick up. But I hear some shatter noises, and you know, I feel like it does put in some work. And cold conduction. Enemies chilled by your hits are shocked. I'm not sure how potent those shocks are, but I feel like it does shock. And also, Voidforge says that your elemental damage can shock, which means I'm probably shocking stuff as well, but it's not included in POB, and I'm not sure how much it adds. And a Watcher's Eye with base crit affected by hatred. These are pretty expensive this league. It's like 4 exalts only for this mod. Let alone if you get like ideal Watcher's Eye would be crit strike chance, right? Base crit by hatred as well as precision crit multi, but it's like 20x or something. So probably gonna be buying one of those as well. Sip of coffee, and yeah, this is the tree. Now for the gear. Voidforge, pretty good, pretty well rolled. Is very cheap. Bought this for like 40C, non-linked, of course. As you can see, we don't need the 2-6 links, but I did a 30 quality for like an exalt on TFT. Helic in transportation if you want to do it yourself. And yeah, I spent like almost 2,000 fusings trying to fuse this, even at 30 quality, but no luck here. Gives a lot, a very nice sword, as well as gives a lot of damage, as well as 100 life, 90 to 100 life. Excellent sword. Abyssus gives a metric fuck ton of damage. 40 to 60 physical damage to attacks is just, you know, is just absurd, and 100 melee crit multi on top is just, you know, this helmet is godly. For a downside, which is not, you know, it is a big downside, but as you saw, I didn't die much during mapping and whatnot, but you will occasionally get erased, like you know, from 100 to 0. But this is just a price I will take. Being a softcore player, I am. Yeah, I'll go over links in a bit. Feral's Fur, Elephant in the Room. This armor currently is like what, 7 exalts. Definitely worth it. Best in slot. Aspect of the Cat. You know, permanent power charges, permanent frenzy charges. Hell yeah. Gloves. I went with Hunter. I just bought these. These were pretty cheap, like 1x, because there's nothing much to them anyway. Oh shit! Like these gloves are actually would be pretty bad for early equilibrium because they have fire damage to attacks. If you go for early equilibrium Slayer route, avoid flat elemental to attacks, because remember, if you hit with all 3 elements, if you get like a little bit of fire damage to attacks, a little bit of cold damage to attacks from hatred, for example, and like Herald of Lightning, Herald of, what do you call it, Thunder, then you won't get any benefit from this. You will only get the downside, and monsters will get plus 25 resistance, basically. So be careful with that. I went with, I'm not sure how good it is, but it feels like it does make Flicker Strike a little bit less clumsy. With the additional Strike Hunter, GG gloves will be probably Calling Strike plus +1 Frenzy, Awaken Together, and then work on prefixes. Reroll Attack Hunter, which will, like, it will be a Hunter plus Warlord gloves, and then I will be re-rolling with attack until I hit additional nearby enemy, or just I could get elevated additional nearby enemy plus +1 frenzy, and awaken them together as well. Goddamn voice crack. Sorry, guys. Boots are nothing special, just life resistance, movement speed. These are probably going to be next that I'm going to be upgrading. You want everything. You want Tailwind, Onslaught, Elusive, which will free an Anoint, and I can go with like Disemboweling. For now, it's just Life MS Avoidance, Life MS Elemental Resistance. The rings, one is rings are steel rings, because as I said, you want to stack as much physical as possible. This one has elemental weakness on hit. I was pretty lucky with this ring. Oh yeah, I was crafting with etheric fossil. I don't know if I have any left. Yes. More caster modifiers, fewer caster modifiers. These are pretty easy to craft, but I hit some intelligence, high tier lightning rest. That's why I say that I got lucky, right? Really good suffixes as well, and a decent life roll. So I just crafted on phys damage to attacks and done with it. But these days, like re-rolling with including a caster is pretty easy to achieve. The other ring is just, I was going for double curse assassin mark, but I landed on this while essence crafting with what do you call it, contempt essences, and landed decent life, decent resist. So I kept this one as it is. Amulet, I spent like 20x crafting this, and I'm sure that I wasn't doing it the right way, but this is the way I did it. I essence spammed until I got gain phys extra cold. It's basically an extra hatred, right? I think it's pretty potent. Like not extra hatred is 25 phys damage. This one is 18 phys extra cold. Then I with this essence I got all my suffixes filled. That's why I went with Ashling. I unveiled maximum life, hitting maximum. One time I missed. That's why it was so expensive. Unveiling this, as you can see, chosen, right? The life roll. It's 47% to unveil, so like, you know, 50-50-ish. So yeah, average luck. And then I locked my stuff, locked prefixes, re-rolled, reforge, including a crit, until I get global crit multiplier. I got it in like 2 tries, which is pretty lucky because on average it takes 12, which is by like 24 exalts on its own, right? Because you have to keep locking prefixes and reforging, including crit, for like 20c on top. So yeah, and I exalt slammed, increased cast speed, which is, you know, wasn't very lucky, but whatever. One death stat is not a big deal. And crafted on some cold res, and you know, I think this is close to GG amulet for this kind of variation, and it's pretty juicy. I like it. Yeah, belt is just life resist basically. I was gonna sell this one because it also has T1 mana, right? And that's why I Redeemer slammed, hoping to get mana recovery rate. It would be pretty expensive. I hate that I didn't. It's just, you know, very mediocre one. This one also gonna be one of my main upgrade. This is gonna get upgraded soon. This and gloves as well. Gloves are gonna be beautiful too. And yeah, for the flasks, Taste of Hate, gain phys extra, physical damage as cold as well. Very nice. Jade Flask, evasion, just good defenses. 52 evade. That's because of Wind Dancer. It gives less evasion, right? But still, I think it's worth going for. Bottle Fate, best flask in the game. Not much to tell about this. Also, I'm having Onslaught on kill. Abyss Jewel. You barely res kept because I want a lot of shit on my suffixes, but you know, resistances are pretty important in this game too. Anyway, Bottle Faith. Even without Bottle Faith, like currently my build does, as I said, like from anywhere from 5 to 10 mil DPS, depending on, like, you know, totems and flasks up and whatnot. But even without Bottle Faith, it can easily reach by it, like with these 2 items and maybe with Feral's Fur, 2-ish mil easily. Bottle Faith gives a lot though. It gives like 1 million DPS out of those 8 easily. So yeah, it's crazy flask. Lion's Roar, best for every melee build. Like the knockback is pretty bad, but with Flicker Strike it doesn't feel that bad, like as it does with the Cyclone, for example. And a Life Flask, which I press constantly during mapping, because it's pretty repeat build. For the gem links, main link is, as you can see, Awaken Multi-Strike. Yep, pretty, as I said, pretty expensive build. Flicker Strike, Awaken Multi-Strike. Oh shit, yeah, I said like 30 exalts, right? Without accounting for Multi-Strike and like gem links, so I guess 50-ish. Although it's weird. Yes. Anyway, it's not that important. So Flicker Strike, Awakened AoE damage with attacks. I'm main linking Fortify. Ideally, you want to double corrupt your 6-link Voidforge and get Fortify from here, but this is for the future as well. AoE damage with attacks, Fortify, Multi-Strike, Trinity, the core of this build, and Ruthless for single target, Awaken Melee Splash for mapping. Cast 1 damage taken, Immortal Call, Summon Lightning Golem. It gets summoned pretty consistently because we're taking a lot of damage, and War Banner. This is the Aura setup, Aspect of the Cat on the gloves, which costs nothing due to Feral Sphere. Auras are Hatred, Precision, mid-level, just to to have comfortable mana pool, because Flicker Strike is pretty expensive. It's like anywhere from 50 to 70 mana depending on your links. Or 44, 57. And Herald of Ash with Enlighten 4. So yeah, Hatred gives Phys extra, Herald of Ash gives Phys extra, and Precision. So basically stack as much Phys as you can and get it as extra. The gist of this build. Alright, ideally I want flat physical here as well, but you cannot get it everywhere. And yeah, what else? Blood Rage, Withering Step, just to get elusive. Less Duration is supporting Aspect of the Cat. Without Less Duration, Aspect of the Cat takes 6 seconds to switch between Cat's agility, and Cat's stealth. And Feral Sphere gives you up to your maximum frenzy and power charges when you gain Cat's stealth. So you wanna, with Less Duration, the amount that it spends on every is less. That's why it's gonna be switching faster. So you will get your frenzy and power charges every 3 or so, 5 or so seconds. Yeah. And yeah, and Leap Slam, faster attacks, just for the moment. We're pretty fast due to frenzy charges. Frenzy charges by themselves give attack and cast speed, and you also get a shit ton from ascendancy. Yeah. Tree, ascendancy, items, gems. For Pantheon, it's whatever. I went with this not to get stun locked. Not like I get hit very consistently, but just in case. This is also a viable option for all the ultimatums, and I went with this because Burning Ground having 4.5k HP is, pretty dangerous. And yeah, that's pretty much it. As I said, I will be including Slayer version in the description below. I think it's the more viable choice and easy to put together as well. Yeah, guys, that's it from me. Thanks so much for watching. It means a lot to me, guys. It really does. I'm just beginning to, create content, and hopefully I'm doing something that is enjoyable, worthwhile. Anyway, you're welcome to join my stream. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little slow today. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.